Hey guys, so this time we're going to be discussing ETFs. And ETFs, I'll start with you're going to have to open up some type of brokerage in order to access those. So you can use like a Fidelity if you want to do it on your own. I believe you can get those through like all of the small, I guess they're not small, but like through the apps and do it yourself, like a Robinhood, a Webull, um, Charles Schwab is a big one. You can get through. I believe you can get all of these through them. If you are a person who wants to talk to another person or use the services of a financial advisor, you can definitely go through Fidelity. They do have brick and mortars. You can still use Fidelity, but you can still do it online without going in as well. Okay, so we're going to talk about ETFs, right? So ETFs are a group of a bunch of stocks, basically, right? And they're safer stocks, right? And they're diversified. So what makes the stocks safe is the fact that they're diversified. So you're going to have different sectors into this group of stocks, right? So you can have like the medical field. You can have AI in it. You can have um, I'm drawing a blank, but you get what I'm saying. Like different things. It doesn't have to all be like one type of company inside these different ones. And they can be traded on the stock exchange. So first I'm going to tell you about the ETFs without dividends, right? So an ETF without a dividend basically is that you're not receiving dividends on it because the owner of that ETF or groups or whatever believe that the money that will be given to you in a dividend will be better used to reinvest into the company, in which in turn your stock goes up. However, there's no way for you to pull money out on that quarterly because ETFs, you can withdraw your dividends quarterly. It's different than the high yielding savings account, which I've already spoken about. So high yielding savings account, you can withdraw money monthly. But with the ETF, you can only get it quarterly. That's when they release the funds quarterly, right? Now you may see the dividends in there before that. It's still not up for grabs. You can get them quarterly. Okay, so back to the ETFs. Now the ETFs with dividends, I'm going to give you the example of, I believe this is Charles Schwab too. I could be wrong. I can't think, but this is the ticker symbol. I'll tell you that. SCHD, right? And you can purchase this on fractional shares. So say like you say, look, I don't have that kind of money to buy a whole share. I want to just put some money towards it. So you can put $1,000 towards it, right? And just throwing out numbers. Let's say it's $84.21 for that fractional share. So what it's going to yield you is about $9.10 on that, right? Now, you have to go on there and look at their charts to get all the different interest rates. So you'll know where I'm getting these numbers from, okay, guys? I have no more room on the board to be able to break out the numbers for you. But I'm just giving you a general overview of what things would look like. So you are also going to have a fee, of course. But how the fee works is that you're not even going to notice the fee. They're going to take the fee out before the dividend is even given to you. And it's something like 60 cents. So you put your $1,000 in, you get your $9.10. You're not even going to know that they took the 60 cents out because it's just going to show up as $9.10 as dividends in your account, okay? Let's see. In this particular company, this ticker symbol here, this particular company, they have 130 heavy hitting companies. Coca-Cola, Home Depot, I know for sure that they have in this particular company. And the dividends are about look, they're going to change, okay? I'm telling you, I'm giving the examples here. Say it's at 3.48% right now. Let me bring that closer for you guys. It goes up about 11% a year. That's actually a really good one to get into. Real number wise, it's about 11% a year. A lot of people do invest in this one in particular. That's just a FYI for you guys. All right, so we're going to talk about not using your dividends, right? So it's the same way as, let's see, we're going to take the snowball. I got the snowball here. So say you're at the top of a hill. You got a snowball, guys, right? You let the snowball roll down that hill. At the bottom of that hill, what comes out is an overweight bottom for a snowman, right? Because you've allowed the dividends to compound, which is what it's doing, compounding, right? And this is going to be a long-term investment. This is not like being able to put some money. Well, okay, that's a whole different story. We'll talk about that in a second. This is a long-term hold, right? Because unless you got about $1 million right now, you're not really living off of these ETFs, right? This is a long-term investment. So I'm going to give you an example again. Say, don't shoot the messenger, okay? Just say you was able to come up with $50,000, right? You put $50,000 into this one here. Shield is not a shield. It's not an L in it. Okay, you put 50,000 into it, right? Over 30 years, then you're gonna have somewhere about $143,000 in dividends a year, and you can withdraw that yearly. So it's kind of like the high yielding savings account. However, it's different because you're going to be withdrawing, the monies quarterly, but this will give you money. This is in 30 years. This will be something that's good for somebody who is like 20 years old, right? And this is if you never touch the money again. So let me specify that. You put 50K in and you did nothing. You just let that 50K ride is what I mean. In 30 years, you let it ride. You didn't touch it. You're going to have about $1.8 million in the end, right? $143,000 that's going to be in dividends yearly. So say you don't have $50,000 to put in there. You can start with that $1,000 again with those fractional shares, right? But then you add $500 a month in there. It will still bring you around to the same number, right? You're just doing it over a stream of time. It's going to take you probably the same amount of time. It's just going to take time to get there, but you're not dropping 50K and walking away. You're going to be putting it in over the months, right? So this is 50K, sticking it in there, leave it, don't come back to it for 30 years. This is $1,000 to start off with, and then I'm going to start putting $500 in a month for the next 30 years. Then it's going to bring you back to that $143,000 that you're going to be able to live off of. Because remember, you don't have to touch the 50K that was in there, because at that point, it's going to have built up so much in 30 years that whatever it built up to, leave that there. live off the dividends that it is yielding for you for that year. Now, we're talking about somebody that is 20 years old. We are also talking about, I will do another video on this, but also for parents out there who are starting accounts for your children, you can start custodial accounts for your children. They have other accounts as well that you can start for your children. I don't recommend the education fund. What is that one called? Is it a 510? Something like that account. I can't remember. I will get back to you guys on that one. I'm getting a little bit off the subject here. I will get back to this. But you can start a custodial account for your children, and you can invest in it. So like you could start this for your kids and put $1,000 in immediately, $500 a month, if that is in your budget to do so. And then when your child, so you started when they were a baby, is 30 years old, they can live off the dividends, okay? They will be able to live off the dividends once they turn 30. However, in a custodial account, we will talk about this later. We will talk about this later because there is a catch to that, and I want you guys to know that, okay? All right, so hopefully I didn't get too much off, or I didn't throw you guys off too much, but this is how the account works with the dividends. So just remember that you can buy into fractional shares. You're going to hold this over a long period of time. This is not something that you're going to have short term. Say you hit the lottery, guys. I'm not telling you to go out there and buy lottery tickets, okay? I'm not telling you to do that. But say you were somebody who did, okay? Do this. Put yourself $1 million in there immediately. Put yourself $50,000 in there immediately. Put yourself $100,000 in there immediately. And the more you put in, the quicker you can live off those dividends. All right, guys. So until next time, I'll give you some more pointers later on. Goodbye.